Chessophile Show.
Chessophile Show.
Chessophile Show.
The Chessophile Show.
Hello everyone, this is Niranjan Navalgund and I welcome you to my show, The Chessophile Show. And today I have two strong Grandmasters from India as my guests here. Grandmaster Priyadharshan Kannappan and Grandmaster Ashwin Jayaram.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome guys.
Hello, Niranjan. Nice to be here.
I'm very excited and I'm very grateful to both of you for accepting my invitation to be on this show.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's a great show so far you've hosted. So, it's great that you're part of this show today. Yeah.
Yes, and this is the last episode of the first season, and I'm very happy that you are the final guests of season 1. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
So, before we go on to the game show, I'll just ask you a few questions, and then we will move on to the game show. So, let's start with Priyadarshan. So, Priyadarshan, you must have done a lot of interviews connected to chess. So I will ask you some questions which probably you have not been asked so far. So let's start with that. What's your favorite chess piece?
Bishops.
Bishops, okay. And is there a tactical theme you like very much?
Not really. I mean, like when you said tactics, that thing that just straight up came to my mind is, I think it's called Scholar's Mate, right? The Queen G1, Knight F2. That's the thing that just kind of popped up in my head.
That's smoother mate.
Yeah, smoother mate. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know that. I know the pattern. Queen G1, Knight F2 mate. That's like the one that popped up to my mind. So I guess that's what is my favorite. That's my first on my intuition. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a game you wish you had played? Like any game you feel like?
Not really. Yeah, obviously, like every player has their own, unique style, and so obviously, if I cannot replicate someone else's game, so not really. I mean, maybe I would, if hypothetically speaking, then maybe the first ever game played in chess. I don't know which game was that. I would have loved to play that game, or the last ever game that will be played on chess.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, that's a good answer. And do you have a chess accessory apart from the chessboard and chess pieces, like a keychain or anything like that?
Okay.
Do you have one?
I do have a T-shirt, if that counts, and I don't think I have a keychain or a hat with chess, but definitely I have a T-shirt, with chess on it. Yeah.
And if you had to recommend 3 non-chess books to a friend, what books would be?
Okay, so this one, certainly I am currently reading a book that immediately comes to my mind. It's called The Undercover Economist by Tim Hartford. That's one book. And then Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. It's a book on sociology, psychology, those kind of stuff. And the third book, I just read it. I'm trying to remember the name. It's on my Kindle. I just finished reading it. Okay, maybe I'll go and suggest another book. So this book for maybe some fiction audience and Tamil audience, there's a book called Ponniyin Selvan. It's a historical story, history on the Chola Empire. So it's like a 6-part series. So that's one of my historically favorite books and has inspired me a lot. So these 3 would be my non-chess books that I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay. Then there was one question in the social media for you that India has so many chess players, but why there are only, let's say, 65 Grandmasters? That's the question. What do you think?
Okay. I mean, the numbers are rising fast. If you would see, I think the last 3-4 years we have added, I think 25 GMs or so. Certainly, I mean, my kind of hypothesis is as our Indian economy grew very strong after, 2010 or something, as we rebounded, I think a lot of financial support and all those came up. So more and more people, had a chance to participate outside India, and the numbers are growing up. Actually, 65 is not a bad number, in my opinion, because the countries that are ahead of us are financially far more stronger than India, like Russia. I think China has more GMs than us. I may be wrong, but the countries with more GMs have had more resources historically. So that's why they have more GMs. And I think we are catching up because our financial resources are also going up.
Yes.
So I think it's a good number to be 65. I think we'll hit 100 in maybe, assuming there is over the board tournaments resume in a 1.5 years point, because we are kind of going up in a very fast inflection rate. Like I think we are adding 20-25 GMs a year right now.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's come to Ashwin Jayaram. Ashwin, what is your favorite chess piece?
My favorite chess piece, yeah?
Yes.
I think the knight, simply because it's the tactics involving knights are often a lot more funny.
Okay. What about your favorite chess quote?
My favorite chess quote.
Yes.
I remember something that Nigel Short said. He was talking about, I think, the Benoni. So I think there was one game where it was Topolov Grishuk or Grishuk Topolov, I don't remember. And I think white blundered a piece and black was a piece up for 2 pawns or something like that. And in the end, black won, but it was complicated. So Nigel Short said that the Benoni is such a bad opening that even if you blunder a piece, it's still not so bad. So
okay.
That's the one that came to my mind right now for some reason. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so have you played Benoni yourself with black?
Yeah.
You have played, okay.
It's sometimes it is playable, yeah.
Okay.
But I think I've only played it a handful of times though.
Okay.
But
and how do you celebrate your wins usually?
How do I celebrate my wins? I think I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's a really big win, then I don't really celebrate my wins.
So how was your celebration when you got your GM title? Was there any celebration?
Yeah, there was a lot of celebration. That was let's see. After I got my GM title, I think I came back and I think I treated everyone. I think I was in St. Louis then, so I treated everyone who was there to a very expensive Indian dinner. Okay. We went to a restaurant, and basically everyone who was in town, I invited them, and I had that dinner. And then I played video games for the next month straight. So that was a good time.
If I can interject, I don't think I got that invite for Indian restaurant.
Yeah, I think back then you weren't in Webster yet.
But I was in St. Louis, but just yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And sorry. What about 3 chess books you would recommend? What are the 3 chess books you would recommend to a friend?
3 chess books. I guess one thing. I'm thinking of the early Dvoretsky books because those were. I think the Dvoretsky books were the first time I really got an insight into very advanced chess thinking. So, what was the series called? School of Excellence. School of Chess Excellence. Yeah. So those series, and right now I find myself reading all the Agard books. The Agard books for sure. And third one, let's see. Maybe Endgame Strategy by Sharashevsky, I guess. That was also a really good book.
Yes, that is very instructive and full of material. I mean, instructive material. Now, What about one book that has inspired you? Is there a book that has inspired you very much?
In chess or otherwise?
Not in chess, because you already answered about chess. Yeah, so any other book?
I think one book I remember reading was, I think it was a biography of Jeff Bezos. And so it talked about his initial upbringing until the initial state of creating Amazon and some of the process over there. So that, it really, I wouldn't say it inspired me, but it definitely, impressed me a lot.
Uh-huh. Okay, that is one book I have not read, so I will check that out.
Yeah, I think it's called The Everything Store, or by Brad Stone. I think the Brad Stone, the name of the author. I think it's called The Everything Store or something like that.
Okay, I'll check that. So you were having a second book also in mind?
Yeah, this one is called Principles by Ray Dalio.
Yes, that book is trending. I have checked the first few chapters from that book, and it's very popular in the non-fiction field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, nowadays, most of the books I've been reading are business related or technically related. So,
So where are you working right now?
now I'm currently working at Wells Fargo in St. Louis. And
Do you have plans of coming back to India?
I don't know. That's
Not-
still something I often think about a lot. Probably I'll come back eventually, but I'm not sure what that eventually is.
Okay. All right. Now, I think we will move to the game section. So first I will give you an idea about the format. First there will be a chess quiz, and then there will be a chess puzzle, and at the end you will play 2 rounds of puzzle battles.
All right.
Then there will be 4 lifelines to help you along the way. The first one is to ask Google for help. The second one is to eliminate 2 wrong choices out of the 4 options. And then the third one is to call a friend and ask for help. The fourth one is a pass. Now, in addition to this, if I ever feel that you are in trouble, then I will offer the host lifeline, which is called the flip, where you will get a different question in place of the existing question.
Okay.
And
Right.
this is how your game screen looks. You can see that there are 8 questions, and then the last 2 are puzzle battles.
Okay, got it.
It's Q time, so we'll start with the first question then.
Great.
The first question always will come to Priyadharshan, and then the next question will be to Ashwin.
All right.
Okay.
So here comes the first question. The first question is to Priyadharshan. Which move can never be a capture?
Which move can never be a capture? Like, you mean any piece move or a pawn move? What is like the?
Generally, there is one move in chess which can never be a capture.
Yeah, I got the answer.
What can never be a capture? I mean, you can never capture the king. That would be illegal.
But there is a move in chess.
Okay. Let me. Which move?
So Ashwin has got the answer. We'll wait for Priyadharshan.
Okay. I guess I should go for a lifeline on question 1. Would that be a first for the show?
Yes, there are 4 lifelines in this in this show. But I think you can get the answer. Try to think a bit.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah,
Think.
otherwise I feel like I should tell the answer.
Pardon?
I mean, like I said, it's at first it seems unusual, but when you get the answer, it's pretty simple.
Yes, correct. That's the right way to put it. Yes,
Castle.
correct.
Okay. Okay. Now it makes some sense. Okay. So hopefully that's right.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Okay.
Very good.
I saved myself.
Yes, you saved yourself. Also, thanks to Ashwin for putting it in a very appropriate way. So it made things easy. Let's go to the next question. This is to Ashwin. How many pieces can move in 8 directions?
8 directions. So the king obviously can do that. Queen can do that. Knight can do that.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Correct, that's the right answer. So the first round was easy. Let's go to the second round. So the next question is to Priyadharshan.
Okay.
D4, D5, C4, Bishop F5. What is the name of this opening?
Funny stuff. I saw games very similar to this only like a week ago. So, let what could be the name of this opening? Some sort of a, I don't know, London on steroids or something.
Yeah, I once knew the answer to this, but I don't remember right now.
Now maybe you can consider using a lifeline if you have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yes.
And these questions are set in increasing order of difficulty.
And how many questions in total? 10, I guess.
No,
Right?
there will be 8 questions and then
Okay.
2 puzzle battles. So that makes it 10.
Okay. And all the questions, they won't be multiple choice, right? Like they'll be like
There's
kind
only
of
one question for each where there is a multiple choice option.
Okay. So, okay. D4, D5, C4, Bishop, F5.
You are the SOS guy. You must know it, right?
Was this published in SOS? I don't think so. If it was, I would have played again. I'm pretty
Maybe
sure.
in the earlier editions.
I still don't remember. Maybe. I mean, I forgot. But I think I will then ask Google for help. I think I will type out the move and hopefully Google figures out it's a chess question.
Yes. Okay. So Grandmaster Priyadharshan is going to use his lifeline. Ask Google for help.
Okay. D4, D5. Bishop, F5. Is it Grog or Sahovic defense? Means
No.
Gambit declined. I mean, that's one. Or Baltic defense.
Yes,
The other,
yes.
one of the two.
Baltic,
Yeah,
yes.
Baltic defense. Yes.
Okay. I mean, any idea why this name is for this opening or anything?
Probably somebody from the Baltic played it. That's
Yes.
usually how it goes.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Baltic, yeah.
You passed that test. Okay. Let's go to the next question. The next question is to Ashwin. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Knight C3, Knight F6, D4, E takes D4, Knight D5. What is the name of this gambit?
This is again something I used to know. Let's see.
I think I may
I
vaguely.
seem to remember it starts with a G.
No, it doesn't start with G. It starts with B. B for Bombay.
Oh,
Okay.
If you're not sure, you can use a lifeline. You have 4 lifelines.
let me see if I can remember somehow. Because I remember, even remember analyzing this once. For some reason, Gligorich came to my mind, but that doesn't make any sense. So, is it a bomb something?
No.
No. Well, I'm going Google.
Okay, so Grandmaster Ashwin is going to use his lifeline. Ask Google for help.
For some reason, I was thinking it was Goring Gambit or something. I remember there's something
That
called
is
Goring.
D4, E4, C3.
What is it? D4, E5, C3.
No, E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, D4, E4, C3.
Oh, that's Goring Gambit. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was this line. Okay.
Oh, Belgrade, yeah.
Yes. Belgrade Gambit.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the end of round 2. Let's go to the next one. Now the next question is to Priyadharshan.
Okay.
And white checkmates the black king on h8 with the rook on h7 and the knight on f6. The white knight is on f6, white rook is on h7 and black's king is on h8. What is the name of this checkmating pattern?
I didn't even know it had a name.
Yeah, guess you play rook takes h7 and checkmate. Right. Is it named after a player? Any hint?
No, it's named after, let's say, section of countries, let's say, or let's say, I mean, the best way to put it is that it has some name of a place.
Place. Wow. Okay. That then it makes it like impossible to even make a wild guess. I mean,
There is also a book called Dash Nights, Nights, Nights.
Mad Nights, Mad Night, something.
No, it's like, from Aladdin, the Dash
Uh,
Nights.
Melody Nights. Let me think. Okay. Dash Nights.
I think you will get this answer.
Persian mate?
You're very
Something.
close. You're very close.
Persian, Arabic is somewhere.
Yeah, very, very close. Now you're like
Arabian
90%.
mate. Arabian
Yes,
mate.
yes.
Okay.
That's called Arabians.
Okay, yeah, fantastic.
I have
Very
no idea.
helpful there. I didn't know this thing. Like, why would maybe the knight does something with Arabian horses? I don't know.
Yeah, it's there in the Wikipedia. That Knight on
Okay.
F6 and Rook H7 is an Arabian
Okay.
mate. And it's also covered in Yusupu's Build Up Your Chess series.
Okay.
Then I also come across this in Jonathan Tisdale's book, Improve Your Chess Now. In the last section, he gives different checkmating patterns.
Okay. Okay. New information. I mean, the name
And-
part. Yeah.
And they all call it the Arabian mate?
Yes.
I guess, we always call it Knight of 6 Rook H7 mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what matters first. But yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah, no, it's good to know.
Let's go to the next one. This question is to Ashwin. Black has a king on h7 and a pawn on g7, and white checkmates with the help of a knight on e7 and a rook on h5. What is the name of this checkmating pattern? This is quite popular.
Yeah, I know the idea. I just, again, I didn't realize it had a name.
The name, I mean, I could give you two hints if you want.
Yeah, I think I need the hint for this one.
One is that it's a name of a character from a novel. This is the first hint. And the second one is, let's say, the word is very close to what the doctors use in the field of medicine. Just when they are about to operate, they do something to numb the pain.
So, anesthetic then.
Yes, correct. So the first part of the word is right, anas, and then comes the rest of the word.
So it's
You're
also
very
the name of
close.
a character.
Yes,
Anastasia? I mean,
correct. That's the right answer.
that was a complete guess. All right.
Yes, so it's usually queen h7, king h7, then rook
Right.
h5. Yeah, correct. Okay. Now we'll go to the next question. The next question is to Priyadharshan. Who is India's 39th Grandmaster?
39. So this must be someone before me. I was 44. So 39, I think, should be Ashwin, most likely, because
true.
he did become sometime ahead of me. Is that you, Ashwin?
I
Yes.
think so.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So let's take this opportunity to ask Ashwin. Ashwin, what would you say if I had to ask you to sum up your journey until the Grandmaster title in one word? What would you say?
In one word, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I think I can do 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
2 words would be needlessly difficult.
Uh-huh. And can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I've had a long time to think about, my journey over there. And when I think about the mistakes I made, so many of them just seem so easily avoidable and so needless. And so it just seems, that, because, I got 2 Grandmaster norms all the way in 2007. I reached 2480 when I was 16. And, which, okay, I mean, probably by certain standards isn't as prodigious as you'd think, but it's still pretty good.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, I feel it's great personally.
Yeah, and after that, it took 8 years to get the Grandmaster title, and because I got my third norm in 2009, and yeah, I think I just made too many mistakes, and a lot of them were so needless, and so
So,
yeah,
I mean, all three of us, we have taken help from International Master Raja Ravi Sekhar,
mm,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
yeah,
got to know both of you. I mean, that you both exist. I got to know that from RRS. So he was the one who told me about both of you, and that was the time when you both were his students, and I was, let's say, the new student. And he used to tell me about both of you and how you practice so much. So that was the first interaction about both of you I had with RRS sir.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Now, do you keep in touch?
Uh,
no,
I met him a year ago in his Bangalore Academy. So, and
Okay.
I did have a email conversation with him, I think 2 months ago or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I do wish him on his birthday. That is the first
September 17th,
17.
right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's my brother's birthday, and his birthday is coincides with him, so I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't talked to him in a very long time, but I still remember the Rook End games we went through together.
Yes, he
I think
mentioned
he
this.
was sorry.
He mentioned this when we were coach, like when he was teaching me. He did mention that
Yeah,
you
I
worked.
mean, because he was very good at explaining those Rook End games, and even now, I still remember, for example, in the if you have a Rook pawn, then I think you need three files to cut off the king at least, and if it's more than that, it's a win because you can get your Rook to B8 and get your king outside.
Yes.
I still remember that from those days.
Also, he was the one who explained the knight bishop checkmate to me in a very nice way.
Yeah, the W, yeah.
Yes, the W. Yeah. Okay. And let's now move to the next question. That was great.
Luckily, I didn't needed a helpline for the third question. I saved myself a lifeline.
Yes. This question is to Ashwin.
Right?
Who is the author of the book, The Modernized Berlin Wall Defense, which is published by Thinkers Publishing?
Yeah, let's do it over here.
Yes, that's Priyadarshan. Yes, you're right. So, Priyadarshan, first tell us about your journey of writing this book, and then tell us about your journey of becoming a GM.
So actually, this question ties to the topic we just talked about, Raja Ravishekhar sir, because he was the one who kind of introduced me to this opening for the first ever time, and I remember like back in those days, there was no cell phone and all. You had to go to a phone booth and call if you want to call him. And I remember I would go through EC1 and I'd call him. I'm like, I don't know what this move is and all that stuff. It's like what 2003 I'm talking about, right? So yeah, so the book was, I picked up the opening in 2003. I played my first, database game in 2003 against now Grandmaster Popilski Gill of Israel, and I beat him in a World Youth in Greece in 2003. So when you start opening with a win, it's kind of, feels nice. Something brand new you play, and then you start with a good win. And so slowly I started, playing more and more games. I started enjoying it for the fact that it suited my style. Or I believe the opening shaped my style, or I don't know if my style was similar to the opening. It could be either way. I'm still not very sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that it was based out of ideas mainly, and you could play if you have a very good understanding of end games, and that also ties back to, I believe, the classes with Ravi Shekhar, the end game knowledge you gain.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is how the opening I learned, and I picked it up. So the idea of writing a book was, yeah, as I also mentioned in a few other interviews, I think it's basically like a New Year resolution for 2018. And I said, yeah, why not do something, a bigger project with more, time consuming. I took it as a challenge because I wanted to do something new for that year. And I wrote, it took me a long time though, the more than I expected it, because it released only in December 2019. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a very long process, but I enjoyed the process. I mean, I myself learned few things more like I learned Berlin in a more structured way, which I actually had never did. Like I remember when I learned Berlin, I would have gone through at least like 2,000 games in Mega Database at that time. That's like the only way I learned Berlin. I didn't even like whatever EasyO had was like I think one variation or two variations in there we were back in the day. So basically, I went through literally
I
all.
remember the ECO days.
Yes, me too.
So I remember looking at literally all the GM games from Chess Base 9 or 8, whatever existed back in those days, and that's my knowledge. And when I sit down and then I write down as a theoretical, format, it sounded very different, and also it made me realize how much theory has advanced. I mean, I had to spend so much time analyzing Rook E1 after knight takes E4, and that's like one of the lines where I think White is trying to fight for an edge. And I remember when I learned it, it was such a harmless move where White plays for a draw kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of things have changed, and it was a very good experience. I enjoyed the fact, even though it took a lot of time, I learned a lot. That's from a chess perspective. Also, I believe as a writer, I improved quite a bit from that experience. And yeah, so that's my book experience, and I think the book is doing pretty well also from sales perspective. So, and I think your question was about my Grandmaster journey, right?
Yeah, what would you say? In few words, what would you
In
say?
few words, okay. Okay, I have to really think about it because certainly it was a very long journey. I would say I'm happy I reached the goal. I would say, I think I did not. I mean, it was destined maybe that I had to get it like pretty late, my Grandmaster title. But I don't have any regrets of the fact that I got it like way later than my years, because I believe I got my Grandmaster title when I believe I really was playing like a Grandmaster. Till then,
okay.
I maybe had some qualities, but not all the qualities to become a Grandmaster. So yeah, I was pretty satisfied with my journey of how I ended up becoming a Grandmaster. Yeah, and at the same time, getting a degree. Yeah.
So both of you were in the US when you got your titles.
Yeah.
Yes. I got all my norms also in US. Yeah, all the three norms are the same. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was good to know. Ashwin, do you have plans to write a book?
Yeah, I have some ideas here and there, and I still have some databases where I have some material. I probably should be more disciplined in how I approach it. Like there's this one funny idea that I've been looking at briefly. It's the working title of the book is "The Most Boring Games in Chess History." It's the basic premise of the book is that you see a lot of games that they seem boring, but actually if you look in the background, there's actually a lot of stuff going on, right? White is planning something, black is planning something, and then maybe black stops the plan, and then the game fizzles out. So it seems, on the surface level, it seems like nothing's happening, but there was actually something going on. So I thought that would be an interesting idea and a funny title, but that's something
Yes.
I need a
agree.
lot of examples to go through with this.
Yes, maybe some study of.
Somewhat similar to the Under the Surface thing by Jan Marcos. I think he wrote a book, something.
Under
Yeah.
the Surface is, I think, his approach to chess and how he has come up with some terms or concepts, more of that. Like he explains chess in a very different way, and I loved that book. That's one amazing read. But what the book that Ashwin is talking about, I think the working title, I think that is more specific to games, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because often, I mean, like when we see, a large tournament and a game going on, I think we can appreciate what both sides are trying to do because, we know the opening, we know the theory behind it. We know that, okay, White may be trying to get this particular idea in, but Black just neutralizes it and then game fizzles out. And, there was actually something going on. People don't realize it. So I thought
yes.
that was an interesting concept. And like I said, I just really find the title to be just really, really funny.
Yes, I like the title and I want you to go ahead with it and finish the book.
Yeah, but I need to actually do it. I need a lot more examples, and that involves going through a lot of draws. So I need to figure that out.
Yes. Okay. Now we enter the next question. The next question is to Priyadharshan. And in this question, you have like 4 options.
Okay.
Who said it's always better to sacrifice your opponent's men?
Face your opponent's men.
Options are Bobby Fischer, Savili Tartakor, Mikhail Tal, and Richard Reti.
Okay. I for some reason think Tall is like a decoy. It should definitely not be Tall.
Definitely not him.
Yeah. So I'm going with the other 3. And I know, I don't know, for some reason Reddy doesn't sound anywhere close to this, but I don't know. Tartakover is what my intuition says. But I mean, I think this is what, question number 4 for me, or 5?
This is question 5.
Question 5, right? And I have, what are the lifelines left to me at this point?
I think you have call a chess friend, you have a pass, and then you can also eliminate 2 wrong choices. And that eliminating wrong choices is only available for this question. If you want, you can use it.
Yeah, best. Why not use that lifeline? Yeah, I'll use that. Eliminate the wrong choice. Yeah, of the 2.
Okay, Priyadharshan is going to use his lifeline. So we'll eliminate 2 wrong choices, and you're left with Bobby Fischer and Tartakor.
Okay, so I was. I think it's Tartakover. I'll go with Tartakover.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Very good.
For some reason, it sounded like Tartakover would have told that, but I just was not. I was like 70% sure. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. %. Yeah.
Okay. Tartakor has come up with a lot of great quotes. I like a lot of his quotes. And in one of our Chessophile shows, I did a "Who is this" kind of feature on him. And that was a very nice contest. And Tipse, Grandmaster Tipse found out because one of the guests they called Grandmaster Tipse, and then he revealed, like, he answered that question.
Thanks to your show, one of the previous episodes you asked about like who's this player, Akiba Rubinstein, right?
Yes.
And that's when I figured out I shared my birthday with Rubinstein, which was like shocker. I didn't know that, like December 1, right? Rubinstein.
Yes.
It was like I learned some new stuff. I mean, I don't know which show it was, with some Grandmasters. I think was it Ankit and Murali Karthikeyan or someone, I believe.
I think it was a recent show before that. Soyams and Anvesh, probably.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, and that was a very new information, like Rubinstein. But I don't think my play style is anywhere near Rubinstein's play style, even though I share birthday.
No, sometimes it is.
Could be. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it is. I have also experienced that when I'm playing you. Some moves, at least. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I just want to share that. Yeah, that information. Yeah.
So, Ashwin, what were you saying?
No, I'm saying I remember that Tartakor, he did a lot for chess books.
Correct. Yes, I agree.
Because, I mean, there's a Tartakor opening against QGD. I think that was one of the first openings I played.
Yes.
And I won a lot of games there, surprisingly, because it seemed like a very solid opening, but I won a lot of games there.
With the black pieces.
Yeah.
And also, I got to know that he is the one who initiated Catalan opening.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's also the one who started Catalan, the first player.
Yeah, a very underrated historical grandmaster.
Yes. Okay, now we will move on to the next question. The next question is to Grandmaster Ashwin, who said chess, like love, like music, has the power to make men happy.
This feels like something Tarash said.
Yes, that's right.
It was Tarash, right?
Yes, it's Tarash. That was quick.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I memorized a lot of chess trivia for some reason.
Yes,
but that's a lot. So yeah, I have a lot of weird trivia about chess in my head. I've forgotten a lot of it. A lot of it is in the recesses of my head. It's probably useless information, but
no, it's useful for a show like this, right?
Yeah, I finally get to use that.
Yes. Actually, the show is supposed to be, difficult as you go on, but it's becoming more and more easy as we progress.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, now here comes the next question. And the next 2 questions, that is question number 6 and question number 7, both of you can answer. It's not necessary that it's to Priyadharshan or it's to Ashwin. Both of you can answer, and whoever answers this first, I'll take their answer.
Okay.
Here's the question. You need to identify this player. He was born in the year 1903. He won the British Championship in 1929, 1932 and 1933. He has scored victories against great players like Capablanca, Tartacore and Flor. And Capablanca considered him as a genius.
Consider him a genius.
This is one question, that is question number 6, which is used. This is where a lot of players use their lifeline to call their friends, and this is considered to be the toughest question of the episode usually.
Okay.
I'm wondering, is it British Championship?
Yes.
So,
Like if we take a wild guess, do we get again still a chance?
You can guess. I will take that answer if it's a right answer.
And
so my guess would be Sultan Khan. No?
Yes, that's the right answer.
oh, wow, okay.
So Sultan
job,
Khan
Ashwin.
is the right answer. If you were like not sure, I would have given you another clue that Daniel King came up with a book on his life and games.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I don't know. I was thinking maybe Pillsbury or something.
He was American.
Oh, it's American. Yeah. Where was I thinking of Pillsbury? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason I guessed Sultan Khan was for the British Championship. I was trying to think of other British players. I couldn't think of any of them. And then I thought, okay, he won the British Championship. And so, back then, I think, even after for a long time, Indians could still play the British Championship. So,
I mean, I know Sultan Khan won British Championship, but I didn't know that he beat these particular players.
I know he beat Capablanca. I didn't know about Tartacore and Flor.
Okay.
Yeah, he did win against them as well.
Did he also beat Alakine? I seem to remember he at least played against Alakine.
This I'm not aware. He might have played, but if he had won, maybe I would have found it. But these were the main mentions in the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
I'm yet to read his book written by Daniel King, which is considered very good as far as reviews are concerned.
But okay, I mean, I kind of saw some, reviews which were not reviews, kind of like saying that some of the facts kind of could be disputed on that book. And I think there are actually a lot of living relatives of Sultan, and relatives in the sense like descendants of Sultan Khan who are living in US, and kind of they have objectionable or different facts from that book.
Yeah, history is always debated. So
I mean, no, these are like direct ancestors, like, great grandson or something like that. And they were of this opinion that, like most of us think that Sultan Khan died kind of like penniless, or kind of that's kind of the image out there. But it seems he had, a lot of wealth or some land ownership,
That's nice.
and all that stuff. And so, yeah, and things like, so, I mean, there was a chess.com blog by one of Sultan Khan's I think as I said, great-granddaughter or something, where she was kind of countering a lot of things from the book. I mean, so just an alternate viewpoint. I have not read the book too, but from a personal perspective, reading someone like very close from the family, kind of disputing a lot of the claims, saying, the author did not consult us or something of that lines, and certain facts we thought were exaggerated. It was interesting to view. Yeah.
Okay. As far as these games are concerned, I think he was a very good player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say he's like the first superstar of the Asian,
Yes.
The subcontinent. Yeah.
I agree. I feel he should get
And
the
I
GM
think
title.
so he didn't get the GM title, yeah?
No, not yet.
Well, yeah, I think he probably, definitely deserves
yeah.
an honorary title. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this was easy. Let's go to the next question then.
Okay.
He was born on 7th November 1896. He was the foremost figure amongst the hypermoderns and wrote very influential books on chess theory. One of his favorite games is the immortal Zugzwang game against Zamish in 1923.
Nimzovich, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I must agree. You have a lot of chess trivia stored in your head.
Yeah.
Very quick with the answers. And if you had if you wanted a clue, then I would have given e4 knight c6, which is named after him, or d4 knight f6, c4 e6, again, which is named after him.
Because, yeah, I mean, there were basically two hypermoderns, right? One was Nimzovich, one was Reti. So.
Yes.
I was
Correct.
pretty sure it was Nimzowitsch though, because I don't remember Reti writing any books. Because Nimzowitsch wrote My System and Praxis, right?
Right.
Yeah, just practice. Yeah.
And Riti has written a book which I was reading. It's called The Masters on the Chessboard.
Ah, okay.
It's a nice
Was it
book.
an English book? I think maybe he wrote in some other language and it got translated, I feel. I don't know.
Maybe the one that I'm reading, it's English, but maybe it's a translated version.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
But it's a nice book. I like it. I like the comments and the choice of games.
Okay.
Okay, so that was, let's say, the end of all this trivia and all those questions. We will now move on to chess section, purely chess. Now there will be a puzzle. The first puzzle will be to Priyadharshan and then it will be to Ashwin.
Okay.
Let's go to the puzzle section. It's white to play and it's composed by betting. Now the positions that I pick or the quotes that I pick are from the social media page of chess.com India. This is also a position from chess.com India.
Okay.
So you have the position in front of you, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I mean, the rook's on h2, white rook. That's the position, right? Yeah.
Correct.
It has to be some with, I know the key move is somewhere bishop d3 that kind of blocks something. I feel like that's the key move. I'm just trying to figure out the, the way to reach that key move and make it work. Is it rook h3, rook takes h3, bishop d3, and then capture a knight c2 or knight b3 mate?
You are close, I would say. Rook
Okay.
h3, rook h3, then there's a
Bishop.
key move.
Yeah.
One of the things I have noticed about studies is every
You use everything.
piece every piece has a reason.
Still there then,
Yeah.
right?
Pardon?
I mean, every pawn is placed for a particular reason on
Correct.
a stat, right? Every material on a board, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just complete my solution. But I'm still figuring out why would. Okay, it makes sense because if I go bishop d3 directly, there's rook h1 check. That's why you play f3 first, and then after rook takes f3, then you go bishop. So rook h3, rook takes h3, f3, rook takes f3, then you go bishop d3, then whichever way you capture, then knight b3 or knight c2.
Correct. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Ashwin, you had already solved it? Or you're
Yeah, I
thinking?
mean, yeah, I also saw rook h3 and f3. First, I was also thinking rook h3 and bishop d3. Then I saw rook h1. Then I had to figure out f3. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we'll go to the next study. This is to Ashwin. This is white to play and it's composed by Georgiev.
Interesting.
So Priyadharshan, you're also thinking?
Yeah, I'm figuring out. I mean, I'm gathering some ideas. So yeah.
I think I got it. So rook h8, king c7, bishop d8, king c6, bishop b6, king takes b6, rook c8.
That's correct. That's the right answer. So that brings me to a question. Are you keeping in touch with chess? Like you seem to be very
Not
much
enough.
in form.
I mean, I can tell you my opening preparation is far lagging behind, which is that's probably my main concern right now. Is the reason why I feel like I need to do a lot more preparation because like I can have all this knowledge, someone can destroy me in the 10th move of a Sicilian. So I need to be.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still solving. I'm still looking at the games. I'm still playing blids here and there. But the one thing I really need to do is I need to work on my opening preparation again. Otherwise, some kid can beat me up.
Okay. So like, how does your week sound like? What's your schedule usually?
At this point, it's mostly work, relaxing, reading, and sleeping. Pretty much it. And some chess. I'm still trying to do chess. The weekends are usually when I spend my time doing chess. But again, not as much as I want to.
Okay.
So once in a while, I still have some residual skill like this.
Okay. So Priyadharshan, what about you? What do you do what does your week sound like?
Yeah, I mean, so my week is, as I'm now running a chess academy, it's kind of mainly like, working on, how to make things better, organizing and management part of it, and some classes I take, online classes,
Name of your
and
academy is Chess Gyan.
yeah, so my academy is Chessgyan, so it's chessgyan.com if people want to look it up, and it's yeah, so mainly I work on academy related work, it's my classes also, and I have students and then, academy students outside of my personal students, and certainly reading, and because, there's a lot of time these days to spend on reading, and and in general, I'm just trying to ideate a lot of stuff. I mean, many of the things like, okay, if I get 20 ideas, I try to implement one or two, and I'm, mainly spending on that part of, thinking process. That takes up a lot of energy. You just quickly saps all your energy, and then I'm like, okay, like, but that's where I spend most of my time. So it's like thinking critically, and then taking classes, and then working with, as I said, academy students and the coaches who take those classes, and yeah, that's how my time basically
So do you
gets.
have a
And
cutoff for the students that you usually take? A rating
uh,
cutoff?
not really. So the way I look at it is, I mean, I don't believe that you have to take only students, like for my individual classes, that they need to be, extremely prodigious or any sort of thing. I mean, if they have a passion for learning and if they are kind of regular and consistent to it, I'm fine taking classes. Even, let's say if someone has a full-time job and just wants to, like, learn chess. I mainly believe that, okay, the important problem in chess world, if you think about it, it's not attracting kids into the game or anything. I
It's
mean,
keeping
kids
them.
play chess, like, if you just get them. It is about getting these people who are, let's say, have a day job, and some of these people are pretty high positions, and, like, if you kind of kindle their interest back in the game, also they can, put some money or resources back into the game if they are passionate about it. So
Correct. Yeah.
from my perspective, I think you can teach anyone chess if they are interested in learning and they're passionate. And I feel that also, like, helps the game itself. Like, let's say if you teach 10 people who have a pretty good job, let's say somewhere high in some tech company or something, then maybe at least two of the guys may end up sponsoring some event or some part
Yes.
of some growth for chess. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So nothing like a hard and fast rule that I don't work with. But okay, I try to avoid very beginners in the sense how to set up board, not because I feel
Okay.
that can be better people who can teach. Like, as you could see on the first question itself, I didn't know it was scholars mate or smothered mate, like,
Yeah.
the technical terms which would help, very beginners. But in general, this is my kind of thumb rule for whom I would work as students. Anyone, if they are very passionate about chess, or if they can commit to a certain level of commitment, at least, yeah, on chess.
Okay. So Ashwin, I had an experience of working with Priyadharshan in the chess.com, Indian chess.com league. So he was the league commissioner, and I was
Yeah,
the
that tournament that was definitely fun to watch. The games were quite interesting.
yes. So yeah, thank you for that. So he was he was the league commissioner, and I worked as the chief communication officer. It was great working with him as well as Rakesh. There's one question I want to ask both of you. Do you watch any series and you like any of them?
Series like on
See, on
TV or
Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah, Netflix, Amazon.
Yes, I do. Let me
So,
think which one watched most recently.
I mean, as he's thinking, I can answer my favorites. I mean,
okay,
my all-time favorite is The Office, and
Office, okay,
and then I think the second would be Scrubs. And right now, I'm watching Psych. So basically, I like Office or a work-related comedy genre. Like all three. Like Office is like basically a business setting, and Scrubs is in a hospital setting, and Psych is kind of like a police detective comedy kind of. And there was one more show that I really liked, but I remember I even showed to Ashwin once, and he was not a big fan. It was by
Oh, and
Robin.
the one with Robin Williams.
Yeah, that one. I think it's the wonderful something it's called. It's like a 15 series episode thing. The
Psych is
wonderful.
new to me. I haven't heard of it before.
Which one? Psych?
Psych is a series which I haven't heard of before.
Okay. And the one by Robin Williams, I think it's called The Wonderful Life or The Beautiful something. It's been those are my favorite shows basically.
And what about you, Ashwin?
So my all-time favorite shows are Seinfeld and South Park.
Yes, I love Seinfeld very much. I'm a
Seinfeld
big
is
fan.
very good. Yeah, because what I especially like about Seinfeld is even though it was set in the 90s, a lot of his obscure advice still applies.
Correct, 100%.
Yeah, and so there's also a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is almost like a Seinfeld 2.0.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I will
Yeah,
check
because
that
so
out.
I think Seinfeld was created by Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David.
Correct.
And there's a show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is basically Larry David.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, so that often goes into very crazy situations. So Curb Your Enthusiasm is also a really extremely funny show. And I'm trying to, but I haven't seen those in a while. I'm trying to think of what I watched most recently.
Mm-hmm.
What did I watch most recently on Netflix?
Yeah, the one by, as I was finishing, I just wanted to say, the one by Robin Williams is called The Crazy Ones. Yeah, I like
The
that
Crazy
one.
Ones. Okay.
It's on Netflix, huh?
I watched it when I was in US. I think it was on Amazon Prime. I don't know which. It's right now streaming in India. I don't know which. Yeah.
Trying to remember what show I watched most. I don't remember what I watched most recently, but I remember in February, everyone in the US was talking about Tiger King.
Yes, there were a lot of memes also. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was a fun month, all things considered.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
let's go to the puzzle battle section. Let's go to puzzle battle. I want you both to be logged into your respective chess.com accounts.
Okay.
Here starts the puzzle battle between Ashwin Jayaram and Priyadharshan. Okay. This is taken by Priyadharshan. We'll have another round of puzzle battle. Yes, now starts the second round. You can see Ashwin and Priyadharshan again. Takes it. I must say it was a very close fight, tight fight between both of you.
A couple of years ago, I bought myself a touchscreen laptop thinking that would be cool. This is the only time I ever use a touchscreen part.
So you are using touchscreen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yes. So that was the end of Puzzle Battle. What are your first thoughts about the entire show?
This show was fun.
Was fun?
Yeah.
Worth your time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What about
yeah,
you, Priyadharshan?
I had maybe a lot of fun, and certainly, it was informative also to the participants also to some extent. Like we learned the Baltic defense and what Belgrade Gambit and it's kind of like looking back at some of the things that outside of chess also, not just limited to chess. So yeah, I had a great time. Time well spent.
Okay. I'm glad. Here's a small souvenir from my side. This is for Priyadharshan and this is for Ashwin.
Okay, thank you for the certificate, and thanks Niranjan for being the wonderful host. It made the conversation more easy. When you're talking.
Yeah, because you're also able to dig out a lot of unusual chess trivia. So this clearly involved a lot of research. That's really cool.
Sure. Yes. And I'm very happy that you came on board and the show could not have had better finalists. So this was a very good show for me because it was very smooth from the very beginning, except for the one mistake where I forgot to record. Other than that, I think it was very smooth, and this is the first time that I saw high scores in the puzzle battle. First time where the this last portion of the game show was quite easy, and it's the first time where there were no phone calls made, so that's very good.
Yeah, I don't think I would have. I was thinking if I actually had to make a phone call, who I would talk to.
I think you could call Dennis, right, Ashwin? He would be.
I could call Dennis. Yeah, you know what? Dennis would know. If I didn't know something, Dennis would definitely know it.
Yeah. So we are talking about Grandmaster Dennis Boros from. I think he's still Hungarian.
He's Hungarian. Yeah. He also knows a lot about some unusual parts of chess, so he would definitely know.
So yeah, I think Ashwin. If Ashwin had asked me, I would suggest, hey, you call Dennis. He should be knowing this stuff. Yeah.
Now, my last question. I am now closing this season with your episode, but if I do a second season, who would you nominate to be the guest on this show?
Who would I nominate?
It has to be a chess player, right?
Yes, because it's a Chessophile show, right?
Or just a chess enthusiast. Would that also count? I'm still figuring
that could count, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Someone who would accept. Okay, so the one name that comes to me, like, has Stanny been on your show?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so definitely, I mean, if I have multiple options to choose, like one person, I would definitely say Stanny. And I don't know, outside of other than that, I don't think Srinath has also been on your show, right?
No, he's not been there.
Yeah, so I would Stanny and Srinath, or if Ashwin wants to nominate Srinath, I can back off and give that.
Yeah, Stanny versus Srinath would definitely be fun. Or maybe, Srinath versus Nitin would also be fun.
Yes. Yeah, okay, that's an interesting choice. So if
I have one more suggestion. This is a player who I think many Indian players would have kind of not known now or forgotten, Akshay Raj Kore. I mean, I think he would be a very good choice if you can get hold of him. I think it would be a very interesting, because his story, I think, is also very interesting from a chess player's perspective to know. And
because I think he works at Accenture or something, right? Or something like that.
In India?
Yeah, something like that.
No, in US.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll check with him once.
Yeah.
Once I'm taking a break to come up with interesting content and also change the template and try to make it more guest friendly and see how things go. Do you have anything to say? Anybody to thank? Anything to say on the show?
Well, first of all, I hope everyone stays healthy and safe before anything else.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to thank Priyadharshan for, I think you said that Priyadharshan recommended me to do this. So thanks a lot. And thanks a lot to you also, Niranjan, for, arranging this whole thing. Because, that's probably the future of chess, isn't it? Where everything is digital.
Yeah, it could be. That's a possibility.
So, probably a show like this is a pioneer movement for all you know.
Yeah, thank you for those kind words.
So Niranjan, first of all, I would have to obviously thank my, the people who brought me into chess, and like my parents and my family, and a lot of coaches who have played a big role to it, and more specifically, I would say a lot of things what I am right now or shaped like recently is the US experience, especially Susan, Webster University, Lindenwood University, and the people. So big thanks to those kind of people, and in general, big thanks to you for this show, because I believe this podcast or video blog kind of thing will be kind of a part in promoting the game. So I think you've kind of started it, and I believe you will continue with it, and also I believe more people will get inspired and pick up or do similar ideas or things. And also thanks Ashwin. When Niranjan asked me, I was like, who would be great. like, I don't know, for some reason, like naturally, like, check with Ashwin before I would check with other people. And yeah, thanks for both Ashwin and Niranjan. And yeah, I had a great time. And yeah, that's would be my closing thought. And yeah, everyone as usual, stay safe, like use chess as a tool to kind of, kill your thoughts to go outside. Whenever you feel like you want to go outside, just instead sit and play chess.
And I guess here's one thing to the chess player, considering that probably there are not going to be any over-the-board tournaments for a while, I think probably this is a good opportunity to not study opening that deeply.
Yes.
Let's because there's some openings that I was thought of learning, for example, but I want to prepare the Berlin, but then if I prepare the Berlin, then I'm going to have to prepare Rookie 1 line very seriously, which I don't want to do that.
I have a suggestion: buy my book.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yes.
Point is,
digital edition also, right?
Yeah, it's on Forward Chess. Yeah. And actually, I just want to add one more point. I'm just assessing what I want to say. I mean, assuming a lot of young chess players don't kind of, neglect your education. I mean, I think Ashwin also would agree with it, especially I think in Indian context, I would say this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can become a great chess player. Fantastic. I believe, at least my philosophy is that you can become a stronger player even after a certain age, maybe not the elite, but certainly you can still show improvement on chess. But, like whatever to the maximum level that interests you, certainly, get that education. Don't discard it or put it on a lower level than chess at any point. I think it's your interests change in life. I believe that strongly. Like even like you won't have the same. Maybe it will be good if you have the same amount of passion for chess when you were 10 and when you were 50. But as you grow up, your interests change. Yeah, that would be.
I think I'm cynical over here. I think it's only good if you're in the top. Otherwise, it's just maybe not that good to have that amount of passion for the game. Maybe I'm just being really cynical here.
Yeah, I think it differs from person to person, but generally, yes, that is your feeling.
Yeah, this is just my thought. I mean, I just feel just don't absolutely neglect education and go all into it. I mein, have a backup. Education is not just like technically what theoretical knowledge, right? Like it improves you as a personality also, which can actually help your chess in many ways. Like that,
yeah. Okay.
Also, it's always good to learn.
Yes. No, Priyadharshan says there's a quote that if you learn chess, it can help you in another profession. That's his quote. Okay, so thank you, Priyadharshan. Thank you, Ashwin, for being here and giving me your time. And I think we can call it an end here. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Chessophile Show.
Chessophile Show.
Chessophile Show.
The Chessophile Show.